Guys, I'm about to tell you about the greatest innovation that I've seen in camera technology in my lifetime. What's going on, YouTube? Today we are talking about the DJI RONIN 4D. Right, so you're familiar with the RONIN in terms of stabilizers, gimbals for cameras and stuff. Well, they just put out a modular 8K camera with stabilizers and stuff built in. It's a remarkable beast of a machine to look at. We're gonna break it all down, guys. So before we get started, you know what I'm gonna ask you. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you don't miss us. We cover your favorite tech and video games. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Grant and Geek Show. All right, let's get into this RONIN 4D from DJI. So this is an 8K camera, a full frame sensor. All right, it can shoot 8K at up to 75 frames a second. The processing power has to be insane to be able to do that. Do you know what that means? That means slow motion 8K video. And hopefully they have so many flavors. Because if you can do 8K at 75, you should be able to do 4K at 240 frames or more. So this thing is insane in that respect alone. Image quality and stuff like that. They've also revamped their LiDAR, okay, which was an autofocus system that used literal LiDAR in order to set focus points and then switch even a manual lens, okay, to the focus point with the LiDAR. They've improved that now so that the LiDAR can go and follow the focus points. So wherever you're focused, the problem with the LiDAR traditionally was it just shot straight. And sometimes it was pointed at something that the lens wasn't necessarily angled at correctly, or if you had a subject off to the side and it's just shooting the LiDAR straight, you're not going to get that thing in focus. If you wanted to have something in the third of the screen, it's just not going to be in focus with the LiDAR. But now it's able to point and focus at things anywhere on the screen. So obviously it's got it's got incredible 4-axis stabilization that we're used to and we know of the RONIN devices from DJI. Incredible. I use the RS2. Of course, it's got amazing 4-axis stabilization. It's going to keep all your footage smooth, and that's what we expect from DJI. But guys, this is so much more than a gimbal. It's got wireless transmission of your video feed up to 20,000 feet. So this is really made for professionals. People who may be shooting something while in a helicopter, super far away from the subject and need to see what's, happening on the ground. I don't know what kind of situation you need to be 20,000 feet away for, but they've got it. Also, guys, the fact that this thing is modular, you can mix and match different components of this camera in order to suit your needs or your rig. You can rig this up to a car, all that kind of stuff. It's a cinema camera, it really is, but it's modular, allowing you to purchase or not purchase different parts of it. Now, it's gonna start over $7,000. Which is much more than any cinema camera within kind of your Blackmagic range, Sony A7S, even S1H. But this is so much more than that. And you have to add in the addition of your monitor, as well as the camera, as well as the stabilization, and so many other features, the LiDAR. All these things are coming together in one package. As far as audio, it's got full-size XLR, so you'll be able to plug in your professional microphones, condenser microphones and stuff like that to get top-notch quality audio, or even just really, really good scratch audio from this camera. And also, and you can't tell me this is a coincidence, it shoots in ProRes. Okay, what a year for ProRes. Between the iPhone 13, right, and the Afterburner built into the A15 chip, plus the basically Afterburner built in to the new M1 Max and M1 Pro chips for processing ProRes. This thing shoots in ProRes, so it's going to be a very large but incredibly efficient, high-quality file that we'll be able to edit right inside the new Max, or potentially even the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The camera has 14 stops of ND, and check this out, it's an interchangeable lens camera. So they're using their proprietary DL mount, but you can also use a Leica M, so, it's not perfect. But seriously, if you think of the way that cinema cameras have been going lately, you have kind of mirrorless cameras shifting up into cinema cameras, and cinema cameras kind of looking more and more like mirrorless cameras. And then you have the other category, which is just box cameras, right? So just the square, whether it's the red Komodo or the new BS1H and stuff like that. Blackmagic even has kind of a box version of their cameras. But this is an entirely new shape and design of modular camera. So of course you got the body, like the main box, but then it's got the neck that is the stabilizer with the camera lens on it. And all that stuff, all the processing, there are no mess of wires all around, connections and stuff like that. It's all an integrated, enclosed system. And it is truly innovative. Like we just haven't seen in the camera industry in a long time. Very few people, I think, thought that we could just do all of it at once. People thought, okay, you need a camera. Okay, you need a stabilizer. Oh, you gotta get a display. I mean, some cameras come, all cameras come with displays, but you know, a decent separate modular display. Stuff like that, you never thought could really come in one package, and DJI is doing it right here. So this is definitely an amazing, amazing innovation, I think, in camera technology, and just the way, I think it's going to change the way that we think of cameras in general and what they can be and what they should be. So with that being said, let me know what you think of this new cinema camera from DJI down in the comments below. And you know what I'm going to ask, don't you? Hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss as we cover your favorite tech and video games. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Grant Geek Show.